Welcome back to another Decoy build. Now, what did I build this week? Well, I built a prison out in the Mire. Mostly because I wanted this boat, alright? And I was sitting there trying to think, what could I build here where I could take advantage of this boat? And for some reason, prison popped into my mind. Because, you know, when you see a boat, your first thought is prison. Not really. But, you know, this spot's been on my to-do list for building for a while. Got Gramps over here, greeting the new inmates. Now, I will say, I maxed out my budget here. Not too happy about that, because there were a lot of little things that I still wanted to do. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my gosh, like, where did all my budget go? Also, you know, random little thing. I don't understand why there is a power connector spot on this tower if when you power it, it does nothing. That kind of sucks, because then I had to waste a little generator and a power connector and just a few things that were taking away from my budget that didn't make sense, because I totally have this thing connected to my main power. It just wasn't good enough. For shame. But yeah, so up here, nice little guard area. Just trying to make use of my guard tower and fill it in. But we need to get over into the prison itself. Now, I don't know if any of you were around way back when, during the Fallout 4 days, when I built a prison. And yeah, I kind of like my Fallout 4 prison a whole lot more, because at least it had real inmates. And when you could go and release all the cell doors at once, and there'd be a massive riot. Super cool. And my death chamber in the Fallout 4 prison was death by Deathclaw. Because why not? Gosh, those were good times. So in here we got our nice little spot where you can visit the inmates. I mean, seems a bit risky, but you know what? Back over here we got the security station with a Mr. Fuzzy, you know, keeping guard. Because, you know, he's probably every bit as qualified as a mannequin. I mean, they both just sit there, not doing anything. Except, you know, Mr. Fuzzy kind of a little bit better, because he works for a whole lot cheaper than the mannequin does. Up here, we've got one of the prison offices. Plenty of filing cabinets, because you know you're going to have a bunch of things on file about your inmates. And then connected to that, we have the warden's office. Pretty fancy, you know. Warden's probably making some darn good money. Alright, let's close that door. Now this part, a little bit laughable. But yeah, so this is like a little tiny prison cafeteria. And my gosh, that robot is freaking huge. But I wanted to make use of it, so he gets to be the chef. Now up here, this leads straight into the upper part of the cell block. I would have liked to have had an actual door that led into this area. But given that where it puts the door, it kind of screws everything up. So it's all good, though. There's plenty of locked doors that, well, I guess they're not really locked. But don't tell the inmates that. Alright? It's all an illusion. Now right over here, we got our first inmate. I kind of wanted to put the prison collar on him, but you can't have the sack hood and the prison collar on. So I kind of went with sack hood so I didn't have to look at him. So that if they want to go outside, they got to walk down here. Of course, you got your security office to the left that controls the doorway in and out into the yard. So out here we have another inmate. Now, if mannequins weren't so freaking expensive, and I could have more than 5 of them, we would have a lot more inmates here. But due to budget constraints, we're just gonna say that the rest of them were eaten by gulpers or something. Because why not? Now this section right here, it does wrap all the way around. But because I didn't have much else going on with my budget, it's just pretty much an open walk all the way around. But that right there, that is my prison. Now, it is getting a lot harder to come up with something every week, but let's see if I can pull it off again. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.